Shooting games, they are really hard in multiplayer. No matter if it is a first person shooter or third person shooter, it is really hard and it always will be. But why? What is really hard and why you still want to try to play that game even when you keep losing? Hey everyone, welcome. And here we are going to talk about topics which are about gaming and how to improve yourself in game. And today what I got for you is something that will make you repair your controller or keyboard that you broke in rage after losing 1v1 match against pro players. So just stop being salty and let's start learning about how to be pro in shooting games. And try not to be very complicated about other complicated stuff. So before we begin, please like and subscribe and you won't miss any update coming from us. And if you love our work, support us. The donation links are in the description. Let's begin. So what is basically a shooting game? You shoot on enemies while avoiding their shots. Sounds easy, but not in a practical way. The shooting game are not just about how aggressive you play, but more about accuracy, shots hit on target divided by shots you fired, damage dealt by your weapon, how you avoid shots from enemies, and what is your reaction time in compared to your enemy, and what is your strategies. So in short, let me explain about all these 5 points in brief. Later I will explain in a detail about what are actually uses of these factors, what are your mistakes and how to improve yourself in those factors. Like RPG game where you increase your stats about accuracy, damage, defense, reaction time and surprise element. By the way, keep those things in mind because it will be helpful at the end of the video. So stay tuned. Now most of you are thinking, okay fine, we know these are the main 5 factors, but what about those? What they are for and how to improve myself in those factors? So well, I guess you have to understand our human brain structure, and by understanding this you will understand what are the steps of learning and improving yourself. So human brain cells neurons build a new path whenever they learn a new thing, and the path will be remain in your head. Depending on how much you use the neural circuit, the more you use it, the shorter it becomes and more responsive it will be. For example, driving a bicycle. In the beginning, you hit yourself a lot, because your brain has no idea about how to react in a certain situation. But as long as you keep practicing and learn about how to react in situation to avoid fall from bike, your brain develops a circuit to quickly respond on time without taking any action into decision making process. And this is called a subconscious response, where you don't think what you did. What you are doing is already programmed in your brain by going through the same situation over and over and over. So yeah, practice makes man perfect. But it's not over yet. Remember I told you about why you keep wanting to play that game even if you keep losing? That's because human brains are basically developed in a way where they keep trying to find a pattern where they can respond according to the situation. And if you keep trying it but don't find much patterns about what is happening and how to respond, your brain keep tricking you to keep your attention on that game. This is why whenever you fail you feel frustrated but still want to keep continue. And we can use this psychology to improve your gameplay in a shooting game. So if you are a console player, I'm really sorry, I'm mostly a PC player. And if you are a PC player, I'm sorry too, I'm also a bad shooter in 1v1 match. But wait! What I'm going to share here is a total explanation of the situation based on pro player who are good in 1v1 FPS and third person shooter games. So let's start with step-by-step method. Now accuracy is a very important thing in any match. And if you have a bad accuracy, your chance to win a match are really low. Because this single topic contains almost 4 other topics. And these are aiming, sensitivity, spread and burst, and recoil. So these 4 factors defines your overall accuracy. By good aiming, you increase your chance to shoot exactly where your enemy is located. By good sensitivity, you got right balance between your hand movement and your crosshair movement. And by good use of spread and burst, you dealt more damage on target. And by managing your recoil, you keep your aim on target and ensure enemy will be dead. So all of these have their own exercise to increase your accuracy. So let's start with aiming. Now most of you have a problem in aiming. That's because your brain and your hand don't have right coordinations. And by meaning of right coordination is your brain observes something, take it into brain's responsive part, and if there is nothing about how to respond, your brain try to respond through decision making process. So what we are missing here is information in responsive part. And by some simple exercise, your brain and hand got some good coordination where your brain observe a location and calculate how much you have to move your mouse to aim on that position. So let's start with easy practice. first set an object where you are about to aiming but on long range, and then move left and right and try to keep your aim on that target. It will make a good coordination of your brain and your hand. So you can move your hand according to situation as your brain observe, and you respond it as you're practicing. And after practicing for around 1 hour per day, your brain develops a response in your subconscious mind where you see any target and try to aim on it. And every single day, try to reduce the distance between target and you. So you start aiming more faster on target, and the coordination of your brain and hand will be much better. And now once you are done with aiming on stable target while moving, the next step is following a moving target. So ask your any friend to help you to join in match. Don't fight there, okay? Ask to move left and right and you stay on your position. And you try to follow your target with crosshair. Each day, 30 minutes are enough to make a response in your brain to follow the target. And your subconscious mind make a response in your brain about how to respond when you see an enemy. And also try to reduce the distance between you and your friend, so you can also learn how to respond in situation when enemy is too close. In the last exercise of aiming, you and your friend both have to move and you have to aim on your friend. By doing this, your brain and hand got good coordination of movement and moving target. And by this, you can still attack your enemy when you are avoiding their crosshair, but also kept them on your crosshair. And now you learn how to aim to have high accuracy. Now the next thing is sensitivity. The ratio between movements of your hand and crosshair on the screen is called sensitivity. The sensitivity could be defined as movement of crosshair divided by movement of your mouse or controller stick. So slower sensitivity causes slow movement of crosshair and higher sensitivity causes fast movement of crosshair. So it's also important for you to use right sensitivity for your range and your subconscious mind. For example, if you're playing as a sniper, you need a low sensitivity to ensure you keep your aim on target, and for close range, you need high sensitivity. By the way, you can use a scope for switching between high sensitivity to low sensitivity, and also zoom in and out. By the way, most of people make a mistake in using a scope zoom. They thought it's just for clear view to shoot exactly on enemy. But it's just a half truth. You can also adjust your scope zoom to set it as a good sensitivity. But for sniper, zoom in and out works well. But on the other hand, we have weapons like SMG, assault rifle and LMG, which also have sight feature. So you can use it to switch between high sensitivity to low sensitivity. So if you have a plan to fight both in close range and long range, here is one suggestion. Lower your scope sensitivity by zooming and set your sensitivity on higher level, where you are good enough to see all 360 around you, but also able to track your enemies on medium range, where crosshair ain't move fast enough to get out of control. And you can fight both in short range with a normal view, and in long range you can use your scope or sight. It seems moving slow on long distance, but this needs practice, so good luck with that. Now let's talk about spread and burst. Okay, so who are not familiar with the spread and burst, here is a one simple demonstration for you. Terminator and Rambo. Terminator is loud and Rambo is silent. Exactly. The spread is just hold trigger and end up your magazine. And burst is like control your recoil and fire bullets like you have a semi-automatic weapon. But you can fire more bullets than one where you are ensured that bullet won't start spreading like a mess and miss the target. So using spread and burst have an exact location and timing. So spread is mostly used when your enemy is moving fast a lot and also in close range. So using spread makes sense because you know your enemy is close enough where if you spread, the angle of a spread will cover your enemy. So more chance of having a dead enemy. And now, burst is used when your enemy is on medium or long range, and you know your enemy can't move that fast where they can outrun your crosshair. So using burst here is a good choice. Shooting 2 or 3 shots is enough and take a cooldown and shoot again. Or just use a scope and use burst. It won't help much because of recoil, but still deal good damage on target. There is also an exercise which helps to understand when to shoot and when to stop in both cases. So to understand spread, take your gun and shoot on wall. As you can see, the bullets are spread on wall. And this is the spread area, where bullets could hit. And outside of that area, bullet won't hit. So you can see on screen as the target is close in my range where I can spread and don't worry about losing my target. So same thing applied over other enemies too who are in a spread range. Now burst. As you can see, in Spread you fight like Terminator, but here you fight like Rambo. Hit an enemy and then take cover. As you can see on screen, when you can't kill enemy in just a moment, you can reduce enemy's HP by shooting few rounds and then go back to safety. This also ensures that your bullet won't spread on long distance and also dealt a lot damage on long distance. Well, you can play in that mode to increase your both spread and burst. There is no any other exercise for you. But also check reaction, when you can learn more about how to improve your spread and burst with your good reaction time. Now last thing is recoil. You heard of many times when a pro player found guilty in using no recoil hacks, right? So what is exactly a recoil? So when you shoot, your weapon kickbacks on you and which is cause trouble in shooting. And you can lose your target. So this is one of the most hard thing for any player. So yeah, recoil is one of the most annoying thing ever exists in gaming. But wait, there are types of recoil too. The simple one is mostly seen in many games where recoil make weapon lose the target and start aiming at other point above the target or slightly right. So this is the one type of recoil, which you can counter by adjusting your crosshair by moving it in opposite direction where the crosshair start moving after recoil kicks. This will take some practice, you don't need any proper exercise for this. Just try it when you practice spread or burst, it will help a lot. And the second one is when your recoil start making gun go way above the target. And this type of recoil from gun requires a very good recoil handling, like AKM in PUBG. You have to drag mouse from above to low to keep aim on target. So you need a little practice on that too. Good luck! Because from here the things are getting a little complex where you have to make decision and I will just tell you what you have to do. And you have to practice it in your way. Otherwise things get really complex as the universe will be after 10 power 10 power 10 powers 56 years and cause Big Bang again. Sounds complex? Exactly, that's why I'm asking you to please listen what I'm saying. And it's up to on you that how you practice it. Okay, now we have a good aim on the enemy. So how we can make sure that enemy is dead? Oh wait, I know. Let's shoot them. But the problem is, with what weapon? There are basically 4 types of weapon which could be useful in 1v1 matches. That will be very useful, depends on your perspective. Sniper, assault rifle, SMG and shotgun or pistol with high damage but low fire rate like Desert Eagle. We can also separate them based on 2 categories, their range and their fire rate. Now, you have heard that line, mutual funds are subject of market risk, read all documents carefully, which is a direct indication of higher risk and higher reward. Now, it's not a mutual fund ad, but a better explanation of how damage system work. First, we have to understand what is higher risk. So, guns like shotgun and snipers have a very high damage, but they have a one little issue, their reloading time. Both snipers and shotgun deal massive damage, but if you missed once, you are done. You have to wait for it to be successful or fail again. Now on the other hand, we have SMG and assault rifles. They don't deal much damage, but with such rate these weapons fire rounds, it is enough to make sure there is a dead enemy. So in short, this weapon have less risk and a low reward. So we are not here to talk about what you should pick, because in the next topic we will explain about both type of weapons based on risk and reward. Now this one is mostly used in all 4 type of weapons, but mostly used in 2 types of weapon based on high risk / high reward. So no matter how good you are at aiming, one bad timing could make you lose the game. And how? Hear me explain. Ever watched Power Rangers? Imagine when they start giving their introduction and suddenly the villain punches them. Exactly. This is the bad timing. So what you should do to make sure you hit the enemy with high damage and exactly when you shoot? The simple answer is when you find your enemy on crosshair, or predict that on which exact moment your enemy will be on crosshair and shoot your gun. It's either a good reaction or maybe prediction, but it still needs a quick response. So the big question is how to get a quick response? Answer: less reaction time. And how to achieve this? Well, there are some sites which helps you to improve your reaction time. 30 minutes per day will help you to improve your reaction time. The average human has a reaction time of around 320 millisecond to 500 millisecond, and it is around 1/3 to half second reaction time. So if you make it around less than 180 millisecond, or in short less than 1/5 of a second, then there are more chances that you will shoot on enemy as soon they hit that crosshair and you fire a gun. So it is very important for you to hit on the right time. So for an exercise, you can ask your friend to move left or right and you hold a sniper. and you try to shoot on your friend. Make sure he moves left and right on a pattern, and it should not be random. And then try to shoot. Now it is up to you how you are gonna shoot. By keeping your crosshair on target by tracking, or just wait for them to come on your crosshair and then fire. Both ways are good to train your brain to shoot at the right time. Same training goes with shotgun. But one problem is you have to make it on very high sensitivity. Now reaction time is also important with assault and SMG too, but they deal less damage per hit, but with a higher rate per second. So here you have to make sure you won't start spreading your bullets. One of the biggest mistake made by player is that whenever they see any enemy, they just hold fire button, and by doing that you're actually spreading bullets. Which may sound good for you, oh yeah, spread it, but it's not that actually good. While it has an advantage when you find your enemy in a one location and blind fire is good for you. But what about 1v1? Well, if you fire few bullets and wait for a cooldown so you won't waste much bullets. And exactly shoot on time when enemy is on your crosshair, or exactly on area where your bullet will hit the target, even if they spread. And you also need some quick reaction time for that too. And for practicing it, you have to first make a target on the wall. For example, that tag. Now fire your weapon and see how bullets are spreading, how much round hits on target, and how much is spread outside the target point. This will give you an idea about how much time period you have to deal damage, when bullets start missing target, when you have to stop firing, and when bullets start shooting again on target. This ain't much but honest work. It will ensure that the enemy won't come close to you. And if the enemy come close, you can easily hold fire for a long time, because the enemy will be more wider in compared to bullet spread range. A better offense is the best defense. So a good fire from your cover points give you more advantages, but it is all depend on how you trick your enemies by not getting hit by their fire. So best way is when they are unable to strike you, and the timing is when they are reloading their sniper and shotgun or changing magazine of their assault rifles or SMG, because that's the exact time when enemies are able to fight on you. So if you have a good understanding about when they are about to reload their weapon or changing magazine, that's the right time you can shoot them down by getting out of your cover. Now the problem is you have to understand the same thing could be applied to you. So make sure never let your enemies know about when you are reloading, because in time when you are unable to fight back, they could take advantage of it. And also don't let them know that you are low on your magazine ammo. This could also be a problem, because enemies can attack you at the exact time when you are reloading or low on ammo, and you can't strike back with enough firepower. So here you have to use your own planning. Don't look at me this way, I'm not gonna help you. It all depends on how you make anyone believe that you are just holding fire for right time, and meanwhile you are actually changing the mag. And also you avoid your enemy by taking cover when you are reloading your sniper or shotgun. Good luck! Stealth or strategy? Alright, this is the last part of the entire tutorial, and trust me, this one contains all the key information which will be useful for you to play like a pro. You can call it stealth or strategy. Both are acceptable here, but I will refer to this topic as a strategy so you won't get confused. Okay? So in beginning I told you about increasing accuracy, which is applied to this part a lot. Because in the map the distance could be long or short. The path could be confusing like a maze, or enemy can be anywhere like above you and you don't even know where they are until they get you from behind. So to make sure you have a good chance to win a match, make sure you have a good advantage point. And here is a specification of advantage point. Number 1. It should be in a place where you can surprise attack on the enemy, and the angle between you and the enemy's direction should be higher than 120 degrees, because it's harder for them to spot you. Number 2. It should be in a position where you can easily spot your enemy. Number 3. There should be something that provides you cover. Number 4. Make sure there is always an escape route available in case if you can't fight back, so corners don't make sense. And now mark your advantage point on map and see from where the enemy can attack you and how you can counter them. Now make a rotation path. Now you may be thinking, what is a rotation path? So let me explain. Shooting games are just about finding your enemy before they find you. So make a path where you can keep move from one advantage point to another, and should be like spinning around the map. But it is all about how you try to find your enemy. To shift from one advantage point to another and keep the search for your enemy. And if the enemy find you before you find them, try to take a cover. don't fight in this situation. And then once you are in your advantage point, do your best. Here everything depends on you. I can't suggest anything here about exercise or any specific map related planning. Now the next thing is how to counter the same thing if the enemy is using your method. So to counter it, always check corners and mark those points where anyone could take cover. And always aim at that point and then process forward. And in case if you are unable to find your enemy, counter rotate your path. So maybe in the chance you and your enemy may be revolving into the same rotation, but counter rotating your path could make you meet at the same point. Now if you and your enemy met at some point, three things could happen. Either you both fight, or you or your enemy will run for cover, or you both run for cover. So if you're planning to fight, then make sure it should be according to spread and burst. If it is long distance, use burst, but if it is short range, use spread. Point to be noted, this will only apply if you have an automatic weapon. If you have a heavy weapon like sniper and shotgun, the same strategy will apply, but your reaction should be very faster to play with weapons like this. But remember, the strategy depends on how you play. What is your map? And what are your advantage points? Here I cannot guide you on how you should play in the match, because it all depends on your subconscious mind. So the points above are the standards to train your mind and response according to situation you are going through. So this will take a lot of time for you. Because if you play on the same map almost 100 times, you will have many encounters in many locations. And maybe you are away from your advantage point. Or maybe the enemy is too good at taking cover and fire on you from cover. So the entire topic is just about what you should do. But what to do in certain situations will be learned by you as long you keep practicing. So I just hope you understand. So now you increased all your stats in accuracy, reaction time, dealing high damage, good in avoiding damage, and also learn about how to improve your strategy. I didn't teach you what your strategy should be. It depends on your map. I am keep saying it. Now you are ready to battle your friends, but keep those things in your mind. If you act berserk and expect you can fight like a Terminator, buddy, please, you will be the one who gave first blood. So try to also calm your mind and practice those things with bots. As long you keep practicing with your methods on the same map, the faster response your brain will make and you will fight subconsciously. In short, Ultra Instinct. Yeah, that thing is real. Remember when someone is trying to scare you with something you don't like and your response with hitting the person with something you can throw on them? So make sure you have plenty of ideas about how you will stay on your advantage point, how you shift from one point to another, and how to fight when the enemy shows up. Because that's all stuck in your head for a long time and will be more quick responsive as long you keep practicing. Anyway, that's all I have for you in this video, and if you watched the video till the end, please don't forget to check out our sponsors. We don't have sponsors. If you like our work, please support us. Donation links are in the description. And if there is any loophole that might need to fix, please drop it in the comment section. I will pin that comment or try to make sure I will take the screenshot and share it on my community tab and also on our subreddit r/perfectcombat. And if you have any questions, please join our Discord server and talk to me. I will try to sort out problems. And please try not to be a salty kid. We won't appreciate that language. Thanks for watching. I will see you after a month or maybe 2 months. So go and enjoy your next 24 hours. I mean to say, have a great day.